Hey everyone, it's 10 Types, and I hope all of you are excited today because it's Pokemon Day. I mean, at the time of recording this, it is. I think I'm going to upload it at the day of recording, but if it's not, then yesterday was Pokemon Day. But, anyways, Pokemon Day is cool because specifically this year, it's the 30th anniversary of the franchise, and of course, there's Pokemon TCG stuff related to that. And this is really exciting because there's going to be some new stuff, including a new set we got revealed kinda, which is what we're going to be mostly talking about today. Though there are a few other things to talk about for Pokemon Day, and of course, as always, I'd love to hear your thoughts on these different things, including the new Pokemon generation. Don't like, not too many leaks there, but like just the stuff they've teased, which is not that much so far. But I am excited for it. But obviously, there's some new stuff to talk about. There were a couple of new cards revealed. They're like not good, so I'll just say that. I guess the Ampharos is something. It's like it's better than the others. But anyways, so there was a Pokemon Presents as well. I'm not going to be watching it on this video. There isn't, in my opinion, too much relevant to a TCG, but there was some stuff. There was technically some pocket stuff, I think, but I think it was just Paldean Wonders, which is just the new pocket set. There's actually a really interesting Meowscarada EX, which I guess I'll mention here. This has been revealed a little while, but a little while ago, and so it allows you to do damage to a Pokemon in a certain spot at the end of your opponent's next turn. So this is interesting, referring to specific spots on the it could be their active, but it could be their bench. And obviously in Pocket, the game kind of controls things, so it's easier to do. It's interesting. Definitely something I find cool. Someone pointed out to me in Discord. I'm sorry, I don't remember who it was. But yeah, ultimately it's a pretty cool card there. I figured I'd mention it, but nothing super interesting there. There is the there's some things about worlds, not too much to say there, but if you're going, have fun with that. Good luck with that, all that good stuff. And there's some other stuff going on there as well for people not competing. And then there is also the new generation as well, Pokemon Winds and Pokemon Waves. This looks cool. And I guess there's the starters, which are here, I guess. I don't have much to say about them. But at some point, I will probably be doing custom cards for the new Pokemon, so stay tuned for that if you like custom card stuff. Then there is also some merch for 30th anniversary stuff. If you care about that, honestly, looks pretty cool in my opinion. But yeah, anyways, figured I'd mention that. But of course, we have the set to talk about. I have actually talked about, believe it or not, this set already. Talking about it, I guess it was trademarked before, and I think I might have talked about it at that time. And it's kind of like Celebrations, right? Celebrations is a set we had 5 years ago, right? We had it in 2021, and it was a set, celebrating. Where is it? Here it is. It was, celebrating the 25th anniversary, which you can see on the cheeks of the Pikachu there. And yeah, this set is pretty interesting. And it looks very similar to the 30th anniversary set. Celebrations was, I think, a really cool set, and I made a video. The first video obviously was like mostly just speculation. This is going to be some speculation, but there was some stuff teased here, and this is what we saw. It's a 30th anniversary celebration set, right, coming this year, obviously, because that's the 30th anniversary of the Pokemon franchise, and there were some cards. I don't know if I'd say revealed, but there were some really interesting things. So we see that we got like base set Charizard. I don't know why these like weren't in English either. If anyone knows, like in the English stream, they weren't. Were any of them in English? No. Anyways, so we got these cards, different languages, which is like cool, I guess. But oh wait, okay, no, never mind. Arceus is in English, so maybe they just had all of them in like some different languages. Anyways, we got some different cards. We got base set Charizard. We have Palkia level X, Shining Lugia. Is that what it's called, or is it just Lugia? Um, Oops. Okay. No, not Shining Lugia. There's I don't remember the name of the mechanic. But this is a mechanic. Not even the right card. Where is the card? Wait, no, that is the right card. Why does it look different here? Okay. Well, anyways, we got this Lugia. Crystal. Yeah, that's the mechanic. There we go. It says it on the card as well. Kind of like Stellars. But anyway, so we got that card. Got Uxie level X. Or no, Uxie not level X. We got Darkrai Cresselia Legends. We got Genesect EX, Solgaleo GX. Oh, by the way, this is actually really interesting. We can see the well, that zoom in didn't really help that much. I'll just pull it up here if I can find it. I don't know if Limitless actually has the Japanese versions of these cards. I don't know which cards they do. Okay, so yeah, looking at the regular print, we see it's just a card, right? But looking at the lower left-hand corner, there's no regulation mark. Looking at, okay, well, here it is. We can see the A regulation mark. If you didn't know, unsurprisingly, the regulation marks started like either in alphabetical order. They started at A in Japan, right? So if you played just internationally and just aware of regulation marks internationally, the first regulation mark was D in Sword and Shield. The regulation marks are the same from Japan to the international versions of the cards, and they aren't necessarily released at the same time, but the regulation marks are the same. This is what determines rotation and legality. Unless a card gets reprinted, specifically like a trainer or a special energy there, or I guess basic energy. With those cards, the regulation mark is on the card, but it can change, and that is what determines rotation. And if you're not sure about rotation, ask me in the comment section. I'd love to talk about it. And I've made a ton of content as well, and I will be making more content about rotation. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that, because that's actually like really important. Like this set's important, but the rotation's a lot more important than that. But anyway, so this is the A regulation mark, and why this matters is because I mean, this is the older version, right? So presumably this isn't going to be legal. We also see some other ones. We got Pikachu and Zekrom Tag Team GS. We got Raikou of the Amazing Rarity. We got Zacian V and Arceus V Star. Obviously, none of these cards are in standard. And then there is this Mew and this Mewtwo, which we will talk about. But we need to talk about these cards first, right? So with celebrations, let me pull up celebrations and all. Oops, that's not where that would be. Celebrations, the expansion, as well as the Sword and Shield promos. So celebrations is an expansion having two different parts to it. So we have the regular part. This contains just some cards. They're like cool cards. I think they're all legendaries except for Pikachu. And yeah, there's just some cards here. Some of them were. I mean, Mew was good. Definitely a good card there. Zacian V was pretty good within specifically Gardevoir EX. Flying Pikachu VMAX was good as a very powerful tech card. And Yveltal is a good control card. Honestly, this is like an all right set. It's not a bad set. There's some other cool cards like Lunala is cool. Lugia I think sees play in. I don't know if it does, but it saw play in GLC. And then we had Professor's research reprinted with Professor Oak, which is actually cool with the frame breaking art, which is kind of fun. And same thing for the full art as well. But ultimately, we got those cards, and there's a secret rare Mew as well. So we got those cards. And those are the like regular set. And these were all standard legal cards. You can see the regulation mark was E here. But then you look at the other part of the set, and oh yeah, okay, so they don't have set numbers. Well, they do. They have the old set numbers of the like when they were originally printed, right? We got Reshiram here, and then we got Reshiram here. It's like the same thing, except it's got the stamp there. It looks maybe a little different. And these cards are considered the same as the old cards in terms of legality. So, for example, even though this Cleffa was printed in 2021, this actual card, it's not legal and expanded, or it wasn't legal and standard either. So that's how that's treated. For example, Tapu Lele GX was reprinted, but again, it didn't get the new regulation mark there. It's still the old regulation mark. So this card is legal and expanded, and it is this version of the card is legal and expanded. So it is a reprint if you wanted to do that. That being said, it's not legal and standard. Personally, I would have liked to see some of these cards legal and standard. I think it would have been kind of cool. Obviously, it's weird mixing mechanics, and looks like they're doing the same thing here. I just kind of assume that these cards are going to get reprinted. In the like in the same way that they were from celebrations, right? They very well may have a 30th anniversary logo on them. We'll see. But they'll probably just be like that, right? You can find them in celebrations packs. It'll be cool, but something like that, right? This Charizard will be in the packs. I guess it is interesting with the other languages. Potentially, they will mix and match the languages in the cards. That seems kind of weird. But I don't know. Maybe they're hinting at that, though. That seems kind of weird. But anyway, so we got some cool cards there. I guess I will mention if they were legal, Uxie Level X is like super good. This card is like super broken if it came to the game, because it's draw to of 7 when you play it, which is just like so good, right? Like I mean, it's amazing. It would be searchable off of I guess Buddy Way Poffin, but you can't use it. But off of Pokepad, which is like very good. This card's just like super broken if it were printed. It was in a different era. There were different like gameplay patterns and stuff like that. So it wasn't like completely game breaking when it was printed. Shaman EX kind of was, and that's objectively worse than Uxie by like a lot. essentially, I guess it has more HP, but that's about it, right? And it gives up two prizes, so it's like a lot worse. Uxie is like super good, one of the best cards ever. Looking at cards, like ignoring power creep, funnily enough, or ignoring like era. So it's like super. It'd be super broken if it came into the game. Um, Probably it'd be kind of fun. I don't know. I do like these like really powerful draw ability Pokemon, but it would be kind of broken. I'll look at the other cards if you're not familiar with them. Realistically, basic Charizard, nothing really to see here. I mean, it's like it's basic Charizard, right? That's the thing. But it's not very interesting in terms of what it does or very good. Palkia level X, I'm actually not familiar with. I'm not gonna lie. That's the I think card I'm least familiar with here. This one, this saw play. I'm pretty sure. I don't remember how good it was. Someone tell me in the comment section. I'm not very familiar with the Palkia or the Lugia here. Um, yeah, honestly, most things pre-expanded I'm not that familiar with, but this card does some like fun stuff. Level X's are kind of like um I don't know. I mean, they're like breaks, but that's not a great comparison. They evolve from like Palkia. This is one would evolve from Palkia, or level up from Palkia. It's not an evolution. It has the same name as Palkia, and well, it like takes up the same deck slot as Palkia. So you can have up to four in combination of Palkia level X and regular Palkia. This one has a Poke Power. Poke Powers are a subcategory of Pokemon powers, which Charizard has a Pokemon power. All or all Poke Powers and Poke Bodies are Pokemon powers, not the other way around. So Charizard has a Pokemon power, but it's not a Poke Power or Poke Body. This stuff doesn't matter too much, but I figured I'd break it down a little. Poke Powers are things that you choose to use. It's got like it's essentially like an ability that you will choose to use. But then you have Poke Bodies like on the Lugia from Acropolis here. What even is the It's not the right one. Okay, the set names or the set symbols have like changed since then as well, which is kind of weird. It's because it's the second set of the e-reader. Anyways, so Pokebody, it's like a permanent effect. So it's like whenever the wording of this is kind of weird, but essentially these energies are like changing types. Or no, sorry, they change Lugia's type. So Lugia's type is changed. Ultimately, yeah, Pokebodies are those like things that kind of stay on the Pokemon. Also, we see like weird weakness here. I mean, weak to Psychic with Lugia here, kind of weird. Anyways, so obviously it's a different era. This card is just kind of weird. I mean, looking at the typing and stuff, it would obviously fit very strangely into standard. But anyways, figured I'd go over that. There are then probably the weirdest mechanic of these, yeah, by far, is going to be the legends, which by the way, oh, I don't know if this card was really played much either. But anyway, so you can look at this card and you're like, where are the attacks? They're not there. Well, they are there, right? But they're on the other side of the card. It's These cards are hard to read, right? Like, but you got these attacks here. They're interesting. They're a mix of two different Pokemon, which is interesting because these two reveal together, which might be on the same card, but probably not. Simply with tag teams, tag teams had two cards or two Pokemon on the same card. The Legends had two Pokemon on two cards that became one Pokemon in play. They're like clunky, but I don't think they were super good. I know some saw some play. But ultimately they're just kind of weird and they're kind of funny. Oh yeah, they had two types as well. um they were their own stage, kind of like if you're familiar with the units, they're very similar to that, but I guess they're less clunky. Anyway, so they're a thing that exists. Honestly, the thing I remember about them is they got the slanted text, which is just so awful to read in Pokemon TCG Online. But anyways, then you got Genesect EX. Nothing really to say about this. This is not the same EX mechanic as the current EX mechanic we have. And then we got the GX here, Solgaleo GX, which is actually more similar to the EXs than the EXs. So again, there's a bunch of messy stuff here. Then we got a V and a V Star. They're all basics. I mean, okay, obviously Arceus. Well, no, V stars aren't basics. V stars are V stars, which is not the same stage as stage ones. It's its own stage. Same with V maxes. They are functionally very similar to stage ones, though they are not stage ones. But the basic Vs, like the Vs are all basics, or they're not stage ones or stage twos essentially. So that means that if you had a Pokemon like Charizard, Charizard V is a basic, not a stage 2, unlike Charizard EX or Charizard GX, which is Charizard lowercase EX, which is a stage 2. So I wanted to say that. Then there's the Amazing Rares, which, by the way, kind of a bad image, but there are three different types of energy there, like the crystal Pokemon, like the Stellars. So that's a thing. Kind of interesting there. And then I mentioned Pikachu and Zekrom. GX Pokemon also have once per game attack. So those are things. If for some reason they decide to print them, then and if you want to play with them, I mean, you can play with them with friends, certainly from the packs. Then that's going to be something that you want to know. You want to know those different things there. But then we see this here. This is an image, which is in the video. We got Mew, we got Mewtwo, we got some energy types, energy symbols floating around here. And it's really interesting to see. It looks like they got this like weird glow over them, this like glossy finish to them. And it says could hint at a new rarity or a new mechanic. So this is interesting. This is where we kind of look at the other things from the other expansions, from celebrations, I guess. We see the reprints, which is we're like presumably definitely getting the same reprint structure as got from celebrations in the 30th anniversary celebration set. I don't know what's going to be named either. I don't probably something similar to celebrations. Yeah, but like one word, kind of short, snappy. We've got generations, we've got celebrations, we've got like evolutions, which are kind of similar to that. So something like that. But then we have these cards. We're gonna get them Mew. We're gonna get them Mewtwo. They could be on the same Pokemon. As I said, we see two Pokemon or cards. I guess it's technically two cards. But anyways, we got some cards which feature multiple Pokemon on them, which would be interesting to see. Is that what we're gonna get? Probably not, right? Like that doesn't really make that much sense. I mean, it could happen, right? But ultimately, I think we are going to see a new mechanic here, featuring something to have to do with types, which obviously I like, right? Being 10 types, which again you should subscribe because that's fun and exciting. But anyways, yeah. So the type stuff here is interesting. It almost looks like type changing, like they changed the color of the type or something. That's kind of what it's symbolizing. Except that's just the Terra mechanic, which like just left. I mean, it didn't even leave. Like we literally got Terra cards in Ascended Heroes. Like it would be so weird if it was just type changing. And the Terra mechanic though didn't even highlight type changing very much. It's like so weird. Like the Terra mechanic is known for I don't know. Tell me in the comment section what you know the Terra mechanic for. Like what you think of when you hear the Terra mechanic. I think of Dragapult and like Charizard, which are obviously very good Terra cards. I think of like Noctowl and like Sparkling Crystal. I don't really think of the type changing. I mean, yes, Charizard changes types, but like it changing types doesn't really matter. I mean, it just uses fire energy and plays more or less like a fire deck with just some different weakness stuff, which is like a little interesting, but that's about it. Um, and then I don't know, maybe this Pokemon would change type, which could be kind of cool, like change type during the game. Um, but I don't know if that's like super interesting. They could represent shinies in some way as well, which could be cool, I guess. But we've seen that done before. Not that it's bad, but it's just it's not that new. And then I don't know. I mean, the other thing I'm thinking about, which is what we saw, which I haven't talked about yet, are the promos from Celebrations. Um, which are where are they? Not Pokemon Yo. They are here where we had Pokemon like say the Greninja Star featuring older Pokemon with newer mechanics. I would actually like to see this. They haven't directly hinted that yet. Or no, would I say older Pokemon with newer mechanics? Newer Pokemon with older mechanics. There we go. So like Greninja Star, obviously Greninja is a newer Pokemon from Gen 6. The Star mechanic is from not Gen 6. Is it Gen 3? I don't know. I did not play when the star mechanic was around. Funnily enough, it's like the Radiant mechanic, which of course the best Radiant is Radiant Greninja. But anyways, so I wonder if that's why they did it. Wait, Radiant Greninja wasn't out at this time. I don't know. Anyways, so Greninja Star is cool, and there were some other cards like this. Most of them were pretty bad. They also weren't playable. Like these aren't reprints of anything, so they're just like not playable as far as I'm aware in any format. I mean, you can make up any format, but like if you're playing an older format, they're not legal because they're not the older cards. And if you're playing a modern format, they're not modern cards either, so they're just not legal. Which is like a thing I unsurprisingly would like to see more cards legal. That being said, I don't know. Like I don't know if this really has anything to do with any of the stuff revealed. I'd love to say that it does, but I'm not really sure what this means. I think it is gonna be a new mechanic thing, as in like actually new. This could legitimately be just them introducing a new mechanic to the Pokemon TCG, which could be cool. What that mechanic is, as I said, I'm not sure. It could be something having to do with types, though that seems a little redundant to the Terra mechanic, which they're just moving away from. And I wouldn't say people enjoy the Terra mechanic. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Like, I mean, I wouldn't say they hated the Terra mechanic. I'd say it's kind of like a whole lot of nothing. Honestly, I'd say a lot of the Scarlet and Violet era mechanics have been kind of bland. Not necessarily in a super bad way. I think the card design's been good, but with the with the different mechanics. We got like the Ancient Future. Ace-Specs are cool, I guess, but that's literally just one card in your deck. And then, Ancient Future just kind of names. Terra's also just names. This is the type changing stuff, doesn't really matter too much. And then with the Mega Era, obviously we've gotten Megas, which are like a big deal. They're 3 prizers, they really shake things up, and we still have the 2 prizers. So essentially, we have all the stuff we've had in the Scarlet and Violet era plus more with the Mega Era in terms of mechanics. So I do expect something pretty substantial. I do expect this to be a single prize mechanic like Radiance, Prism Stars, um, or something else. I'm trying to think if there's something else like that. I'm sure there is. Tell me in the comment section if there is. There's also amazing rares, I guess, but that's not exactly a mechanic. I mean, it's kind of treated like a mechanic. I mean, they're highlighting more or less all these different mechanics, and I guess Uxie isn't its own mechanic. Like, that doesn't have a mechanic, I guess, outside of Pokebodies, or I mean, Pokepowers. But they definitely kind of treat amazing rares like a mechanic. And then, I expect it to be a single prize rule box mechanic, though. Amazing rares are not rule box Pokemon, but then I guess Pokemon Star probably aren't rule box either. Yeah, I don't think they technically are, but rule box isn't really a thing before expanded. But like Radiant Pokemon, Prism Stars, something like that. I do expect something like that. Potentially a singleton mechanic in some way like those as well. But of course, Radiants are as I said, I think same as Ace-Specs. You can have one in your deck. Same thing with Star Pokemon. But then you can also, with Prism Stars, just have one of each. So those are pretty different. Obviously, you don't want generically good cards on Prism Stars because you don't want everyone just to include them just because. Unlike with Radiance or with especially Ace-Specs, where you can do that, and it's you have to pick and choose. But anyways, tell me in the comment section what your thoughts are on this set. I'm super stoked for it. But yeah, tell me your thoughts down below in the comment section. But I hope you enjoyed. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell, because I will be talking about this awesome stuff revealed at Pokemon Day, including the new era of Pokemon in Gen 10 here, as I said, probably through custom cards. But I hope you enjoyed, and as always, I'm excited to see you in the next video.